You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the June 23rd meeting for the LaPorte County Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening. I'd like to call the Monday, June 23rd regular council meeting to order. If you all would please turn off your cell phones and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Mullenhour, if you would.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Auditor, the roll, please.
Adam Karanka, President.
Present.
Brett Kessler, Vice President.
Present.
Justin Keel.
Present.
Mike Mullenhour.
Present.
Randy Novak.
Present.
Jimmy Pressel.
Present.
Mark Yagelski.
Present.
Mr. President, we have everybody here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. At this point, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Yagelski, second by Mr. Kessler. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the April 28th and May 28th regular meeting minutes.
Motion to approve. Both.
Motion approved by Mr. Novak.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kessler and Mr. Yagelski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Public comment.
Steve Hollifield, 6782 East 100 South. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again with budget hearings coming up. I attended ACC in Rensselaer earlier last month. They are requesting, their budget committee was saying that as your departments prepare their budgets, to add in a raise for all employees. That way you can work around it in the budget. And from hearing from our employees through emails, voice, stopping by my offices on the streets, you guys better hopefully find a way to give them guys a raise. Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot more of our highly talented help. And that's just all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Hearing none, public comment is now closed. Department head reports.
Good evening. Steve
Good evening.
from probation. I'm just coming before you because in next month, July, and in October, our department is going to have two different outings, and we're going to be providing food to be paid for out of probation user fees. And it is my understanding that I have to come to the council and the commission to get permission for that. So that's why I'm here.
How much are you looking for?
Let's see, what did we say last time? No more than 1,500 each time?
Okay, that's a good number. I make a motion to approve up to $1,500. Not to exceed 1,500.
Motion not to exceed
Each time.
1,500.
Each time.
So two events, not to exceed, total 3,000, no more than 1,500 each.
Good.
All right,
Feel better that way, it's fine.
I just want to clarify it. So,
I'll
Motion
second
by-
that.
motion by Mr. Yagelski, second by Mr. Kessler.
How many people was this for roughly?
Well, at this point, I have 27 staff. Some judges will be coming to the October event for swearing in. So 30 people or so. So 1,500 is a lot. But last time I came, you suggested, well, cap it at 1,500.
Okay.
So, and we won't come close to that.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Who was the second? Thank
All
you.
right. So, no further questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Mr. Novak.
Opioid there was a email that the auditor sent out to all the judges regarding, there's a wait Sorry, there's a way to increase the opioid, increase that?
We are pursuing that.
Okay, we haven't heard anything back, that's why.
Oh, okay.
So somebody could just let, go ahead, Mike.
There has to be some action taken by Monday, and we have to have a letter of intent to them. So if we can just take a look at that.
Does it have to go through the county? Because I think Mickey Webb was working on it through Drug Free Partnership to match that.
I just want to make sure that we are following through and that we meet that deadline.
Sure.
So
Yeah, we're meeting tomorrow, and I'll let you know tomorrow.
what time are you meeting?
1 o'clock.
Okay.
So I'll call you after. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening. Rob Saby with the LaPorte County Emergency Management. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up on some things that are going on with our department. About 3 weeks ago, we had an online meeting with the new Homeland Security Director from Chrissy Nome, and they had a panel of, I think it was 10 different people that are from throughout the country, that retired firefighters, police, and that kind of thing, that are on their panel. So basically what's going to happen, FEMA's going to go away as we know it. They're going to change the name of it. It's going to not be underneath Homeland Security anymore. It's going to go directly underneath the president. So right now, if there's a declared disaster, FEMA picks up 75%, the locals pick up 25%. So what they're going to do is they're going to flip that. So they're going to put the 75% back onto the locals, and FEMA is going to take, or whatever it's going to be called, is going to take the 25%. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that, because after the budget talks and everything, so if there's ever a disaster, that's what's going to happen. And we don't know how that's all going to play out, as far as if there's going to be grants or anything like that. I know they're pushing for more training for locals. They're going to push more responsibility onto the EMAs. I don't know how that's going to look yet. They're going to have another meeting, I think, here coming up in another couple weeks. So there's a lot going on federally. And yes, sir.
So they're going to give up 75%, but they're still going to dictate policy.
Right. So they're switching it. They're going to push the 75% on
That part, but they're still going to dictate policy, saying you need more training.
Right.
But they flip those numbers around.
So yeah. So hopefully they're going to send money our way to do that training and that kind of thing.
So is it unfunded mandate? That's the question.
Right. I'm sure it is, as of right now. So yeah, it's not. I mean, a lot of people aren't happy about it. So
Boy, between the state legislators with SB 1 and this,
right.
it's like we're at the bottom of the pile.
Right. So I, like I said, I don't know how this is all going to play out. Now, I just heard that they're pushing this off now until after the hurricane season, but they were trying to get it done before that. So I don't know.
So let's talk census scope for a second, or census scale. So last year we had I think it was last year, tornado come through by Johnson Road,
right,
north central part of the county. What did that cost for when it came down to repair payments?
That I don't have numbers off the top of my head, but that wasn't a federally declared disaster. So basically, we took care of it locally. So
It's got to meet a dollar threshold, doesn't it?
Right. You have to. There's a dollar amount for your population for the county, and then it's not just our county. It's an area.
Right. Okay.
And it has to meet several $1 million or $1 billion or whatever it is, and they raised that threshold too just recently.
Right.
So. They're pushing more on us, making it, we have to do more with less, is what I'm saying.
In your time with the county, have we ever had a federally declared state emergency, something where FEMA would have been involved?
No, not yet. I mean, this past spring with the storms we had in March, so we haven't heard back yet statewide. They took and went statewide trying to get a FEMA declared disaster for the whole state, because they had all the flooding down south. We had the damage up here, Elkhart County, Porter County. So they put that all together and threw it at FEMA, and we still haven't heard back yet. The state hasn't on if they're going to accept that.
So essentially the occurrence rate is low, but if it does happen, be prepared.
Right.
Got it.
So that's just, federally what's going on. As far as locally, we did have that storm come through the other day. We went out and did damage assessment. There really wasn't a lot of structural damage. We had a bunch of trees down, and Wanata got hit pretty good. They had a lot of trees and stuff down there. They had a bunch of poles right on the south side there, kind of by the school. There's a substation. They had poles and stuff down there, so there was power out for a couple days on some people down in there. They didn't have power, so we were without power about 4 hours. They got that back up pretty quick. But yeah, so we've been working on some of that stuff. Right now we've got, we're getting into our summer season where we've got, we support with the Red Wine and Brew. They request our cooling trailer out there for that. We've got 4th of July that will be here in LaPorte, setting up our trailer. The trailer will be out at the fair all week. And then, of course, we'll have the Lake Fest coming up in LaPorte. And then the week after that's the boat race. So we're pretty busy. It's kind of like we don't have many days off during the summer. But so that's what's going on. So, and then with the health department, with their cut, and I can't remember what the fund is that they're cut, but they have the Health Care Coalition that they get a lot of money, or they used to. The state cut that, but so they have a lot of equipment and stuff, and there might be some equipment that they have that they can't support anymore. So I'm going to look into maybe some trailers or something that has some, like portable tents and that kind of thing that they don't have, they can't take care of anymore. So I don't know if that might be something that if it's permissible to maybe put a request in for something like that we could store it somewhere or something. I don't know, but anyway, that's what's going on. And is there any questions? Or
we've done that federally. We've received items federally in the past. State-wise, we're pretty chintzy. Nobody really gives much away in Indiana, but
No.
feds had excess generators and loaders and so on and so forth that were given in the past. So
Okay.
And the other thing is the SHSP grant that used to be 100% funded is now, if we put in for a grant for whatever, we have to put a 25%. So it's not 100% anymore from the FEMA side. So it's going to be 25-75 now. So
is that the grant that would be like if we have services that we can use the money for, they give us credit for? In other words, in the past, they've given us credit for what we're able to do ourselves and so on and so forth.
Well, this grant was for like when we got the Kubota, and I think probably the trailer that we've got.
Right.
That was, and then I don't know. I'm not sure what they got with it before, but
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, it was 100%. Now it's going to be 75-25. So not very much good news.
Well, it's news. It helps us do our job.
Yep, we'll do what we got to do. But thanks. Anything
Thank you. Any further department head reports?
Evening. Good
Evening.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Connie Grammarosa, LaPorte County Commissioner. I'm here for two reasons. First one is we have an employee, and normally we do, as commissioners, sign off on this. Catherine Schmidt, she's worked for Adult Protective Services, and she's leaving at the end of this month. We're asking to pay out the balance of her sick days. She's been with us for 23 years. She started in July 11th of 2021, and her ending date will be at the end of this month. She has a balance of 58 sick days. We normally pay them out at $75 per day, so it would be $4,350.
So being that this doesn't have an account that would be covered by, in this case, the prosecutor's office?
So typically what happens is this would be paid by the actual, customarily, the department itself would present it in a timely fashion. right now we're, the 22nd or 23rd of June. She's leaving in 7 days. It just got presented to us today. We don't usually hold the employees' pay to like the following month or 2 months down the line. So I kind of got involved. I talked to the prosecutor. He knew, and I think he did email some of you that I'd be coming here. I don't care where we pay it out of, but it's customary, us as commissioners, we pay the employees before they leave.
So is it fair to say that there's an account that it can be paid out of within the prosecutor's budget between now and the 30th, to where he can then come to us as an agenda item?
What's customary is a simple fact that they have enough money in their budget because nobody spends all their money at this point. We have reimbursed their money when they've run out of money.
I guess for formality's sake, right? Because in this case, we have Commissioner Grammarosa up here. It'd be better served to have the prosecutor here and review that with them and see, are we going to grant it or not? But in this case, we still, by policy and by handbook, we owe them the sick days. Is that correct?
Right, but here's the problem. So our fiscal year for our employees, usually we get budgeted January through December.
Yep.
And so with Adult Protection Services, their fiscal year starts in July 1st, and it ends on the end of June.
Yeah.
So actually his fiscal year is, for this department, would be ending in a couple of days. So for us to say that there's money sitting somewhere because, we've still got to the end of the year, we don't have that, not in this particular situation.
Quick question for the auditor. Since Adult Protective Services is going away
Correct.
from the prosecutor's office, so I think they bid it out and they're outsourcing it.
Correct.
The state is. I don't want to misspeak. Can we pay that money? In other words, were the 100 accounts all together, or was Protective Services 100% their standalone themselves?
Protective services were paid through a grant, which ends, and therefore they were separate, completely separate of the prosecutor's office. It's a state grant.
So,
but we have other employees
he would need
they
a
get the
transfer
same.
money in there
That's the way I've taken it.
to pay,
We would have to do an additional appropriation
or transfer
or transfer from one of
his other 100 accounts.
or from one of the funds that might be able to pay that,
How about deferral fund or
the
one of
deferral
those?
fund, et cetera.
But those are separate funds, right?
Completely separate funds, so they would have to pay it out of those funds instead.
Appropriate it
They're
out.
not going to transfer that over to the grant.
Well, I mean, theoretically, shouldn't it should go into Adult Protective Services to be paid out of there because that's where she earned it, correct? Or do you can pay it out of anywhere now?
You're adding money to a grant. It's not.
Well, you're asking to add money to a grant, which is not usually done. This is a situation that I wish
I'm saying into the-
because it hasn't even been approved by the commissioners, even though they say they're going to approve this. So you would still have to wait on that process for you to approve it, or you could do it contingent upon that. But you are now, it's an awkward thing because I just found out about it also today, and I didn't have enough time to verify. But I don't believe putting money into a grant is proper.
Mike, that was a question.
Grant money
I
comes
didn't know.
in and that goes into the general fund, isn't it correct? I mean, we don't.
No,
are we
no, there's a
just
separate. It's all separately accounted.
Because then why are if it's under a grant, then why are they accumulating sick days and vacation days? So when we get these grants for these employees, why are we treating them like employees
But
and
this-
giving them sick time and vacation time?
This person's been here for 23 years. That grant's been there.
Doesn't matter how many
23,
years.
yes.
Doesn't matter how many years they are. We have people are grant, and we even give raises that way. Say at the end we say also including grant people. We've always included that in the budget to pay them that much. So that's why we do it. So I'm agreeing that the person needs to be paid. I don't think you're necessarily putting money in the grant. You're just putting the money into her
The account.
account.
Into an account to pay for.
Yeah, so we're not necessarily feeding a grant. We're
Because I don't believe the prosecutor has in a 100 account in excess $4,350.
Okay. So generally in the past, any department, we've approved.
But I don't know
the
that.
general fund.
So in this case, would be still need an agenda item for next month in order to cover this. But does this mean that the council is considering a motion of support in order to go this route?
I think that.
Or how about a two-piece motion? A motion that gives the prosecutor, if he wants to pay it out of his deferral or has another account until next month, if he wants to go ahead and pay it, so she's paid on the day she exits prior to our next meeting.
Okay.
That's a motion, it's permission to spend out of those accounts or a transfer, and/or we can put it on the next agenda. So do a motion. I mean, that's a motion of
Well,
support right
because,
there.
again, just because customarily, when our employees leave our employment, if they're due the money, we
pay 'em in one
usually
check,
pay
right.
them on their last paycheck. So unfortunately, this is something that fell on my lap today as well.
So how many employees are under the grant?
So currently we only have 4 left. One just left last week, and they weren't eligible for anything. No one else is eligible. Nobody has the 20 years. So this is the only employee that we've had that had over 20 years service.
So as the last 30 years, once the grant dries up, the other 3 people are still without a job.
So
Well, everyone's found employment. So I mean,
That's what I
now,
asked. I asked if there's anybody left. You said, okay,
well, we have them working till the end of the
got it. That's what I asked. Okay, thank you.
month, which would be that's when
Right.
the state decided to go ahead and send it out and privatize it.
the whole
right.
department's going away.
The whole department is going away, correct?
So just a point of order, right? We've got a motion on the floor.
Did everybody understand it?
That's what I want to verify. So we've got this motion by Mr. Novak. You want to restate your motion, please, sir?
So my motion is basically, and I'm open to suggestions, is the prosecutor has permission to spend if he has a fund like his deferral. And part 2 is if he has an account to transfer out of, he has permission to transfer that account as long as it's the 100 to 100, whatever it is. And if those don't work, then we'll see him at the next meeting. Because, I mean, we can't
Right,
appropriate money tonight anyway, so.
right.
But you can,
That makes
I think you make the third part of it saying that if not 1, not 2, then 3, the money, we will support it coming out of the general.
I second Mr. Yagowski's motion.
Not my motion.
He's restating yours.
I'll add that to it.
Okay, so I hear a friendly amendment. Is that what I hear?
With a second?
Second.
Is there another?
Who's second? I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Yes, Mr. Yagowski. So, Mike, just as a point of discussion,
Options.
Mr. Auditor, any concerns with that movement? I just saw some concern in your face.
If you can legally do it between now and next month, do it. If not, come back.
Are you
That simple.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
are you good with that?
Did you have a question?
Yeah.
My concern is probably with Mr. Yagowski's third item, which is that a motion of support out of the general fund, but the implication here is this is going to get paid before it came back for the additional appropriation. That's kind of a little bit problematic
It can't be paid
until there's an appropriation.
until if it needs an additional appropriation, it cannot be paid
Then just a
until
motion
we
of
come back.
support that
Yeah.
We're gonna,
Okay? So that part will delay it, but the person will get their money.
So I understand what I'm doing. If he can pay it out of one of his funds, he has permission to go ahead and transfer the money and pay it. And if he doesn't have a fund that he can pay it out of, then we're going to be paying for it.
Go ahead.
He's got to come back and ask out of the general fund.
we're gonna have to
I
appropriate.
also need confirmation from the commissioners that they're approving this.
Oh, we already have it signed.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
good.
Here's the stamp.
All right.
And the reason why I said that for the general fund is because in the past, all these years, all those pays come out of the general fund. We don't make it up. That's what we do for, if an employee leaves,
But they were already appropriated.
we all appropriate out of general fund. It's a number that we use, so we don't take it out of lit or nothing else. We take it out of general fund.
Okay.
There's the 100 number.
Any further discussion?
Clear as mud.
We'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0.
And the prosecutor's left.
Okay, so the second part is kind of the email that I sent out this morning. I'm going to have the director come up and the vendor and kind of give us an explanation of where we're at with it. But we had a situation yesterday at the Michigan City Courthouse where our air conditioner was not keeping up and we had some major problems. I'm going to let them explain that. I would like to give a special thanks to our maintenance department. They got out there and they worked from 12 to 9 o'clock, and then Angie had somebody come out and spend a whole night babysitting the unit. And also a special thank you to IT, because we had IT out there as well, and some of her employees were out there. And, you know, it's teamwork. And sometimes it's quick to say, you know, our people aren't doing their jobs, or they don't answer their phones, and they don't do this and they don't do that. But this was a Sunday afternoon, 12 noon, high heat, and we were all out there running around on the roofs, from the roofs down to the basement, back and forth for 9 hours. And it's tremendous the work that when we have a crisis, our employees come out and they really jump in there and they do it. And I also want to state that there were several vendors called and no answers. So I know that one of the big things is a lot of people will say, we need the 3 quotes and we need to call other vendors. We did do that. And we finally did get one company come out, and it was like 3 hours later and we had already started the process. So when I wanted to be well established that we did call several companies before we called LaPorte County Management Company. Thank you. You guys can
Evening. Adam got the joy of coming and visiting.
If you wouldn't mind stating your name.
Angie, sorry. Angie Davis, Facilities Interim Director. Adam got the joy of coming to see what we had to do yesterday. The chiller went down. I would say I got the call around 11:30, 12 o'clock, and it couldn't be reset. And upon that, we've called multiple people. We called project management. They were the first. They answered and came. They were not the first call. Bruce from Marquis Electric came out. They started troubleshooting. We were still trying to contact other companies in regards to the chiller. Like she said, it was about 3 hours before we had someone contact back that could come out. And in the process, we found the fans on the roof. There's 2 units. Each contain 8 fans, and I believe we were down 6. Is that correct? When we had gone up there, they troubleshooted some of the electric. We did have a company come out to look at the chiller, and we had 2 controllers down, if you'd like to join me, so I could remember all of the things. 2 controllers were down.
Mm-hmm.
They jumpered the 1 unit to the 2nd unit so the fans would run overnight. We did have a maintenance staff there overnight checking hourly to make sure that the unit was running, was not tripping any of the compressors downstairs. Today we had 4 motors arrive. We had 2 on order already. They were in shop ready to put in. They made a run to Chicago to pick up 2 more motors to get 4 more fans running in order to continue the air conditioning running as it could right now.
Mr. President.
And then you have an update for today.
Mr. Yagowski.
Angie, I know, to me, the famous question, do we have any information to look up to see if any is under warranty? Motors are generally a big item to a process like this, and some of them do cover warranties longer than.
I do not believe what had happened would be under warranty.
What had happened, I'm sorry.
We had 2 fans down originally. One of the fans was missing and the motor was missing. That was removed.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I had heard that
I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
That it's usually a 1-year warranty on the fans. So what would cause that many fans to go out?
Well, one was because it was already out.
Mr. Lewandowski, if you would, please.
Larry, good evening, council members. Larry Lewandowski with LaPorte County Project Management. Upon arrival to the facility, what we found is 5 fans in each one of the units on the roof were out. We started tracing it downstairs to see. So one of the fan units is operated by two compressors on top of the chiller in the basement. Then you have a B unit that's operated by another 8. Okay, so the B side was tripping out as soon as it would kick in. Once we'd get it going, we'd get one compressor running on the A side. That side was running under 5 fans at that time. Actually, I'm sorry, 6 fans at that time. The B unit was only running under 4. Well, it's not running at all because we started testing it out. We found what fans were out. We had lost 4 fans on each. 4 fans on each side. Okay, so we jumpered across to get the fans going. Found that 2 controllers were gone. What had happened is we believe that it overloaded because of the high heat that was up there, burnt out the fans that we found. So as of when we left, we had 8 total fans that were down. As of right now, we have 7 fans on each side of it working. We're still down 2 fans as of this moment right now. We had to put water on it because the high pressure up top, we were reaching upwards of 260. At the point where it should have been at 180. We did get it down. It ran all night long, ran good. It ran all day long, good. We kept the pressure down. So right now, like I said, we still have water going underneath, which is not a good long term because we don't want to get the calcium underneath them, but we're trying to keep them going. We do have 7 fans going right now. We do not have the controllers as of yet, so we still have it jumpered. We're running non-stop on the fans.
It'd be running 100% right now
Exactly.
anyways.
7 out of how many?
8.
Out of 8 on each side.
8 on each.
So, hate to get into details, but this is how I'm wired. So you've got two condensers on the roof.
Yep.
Of those 2 condensers, each one has 2 2.25 horse motors. Did those 2 that were not running in the B side get replaced?
They're all working. As of this moment, right now, they're all working.
Okay. So you're just short one.
We're short
1.5 horse motor on each side.
1.5 horse.
All right. And has somebody, now that we've got the condensers running properly, has the chiller been given a once over again just to assure that we didn't cause any damage?
They are still working.
Yeah, that still has to be done. We're still lacking 1 fan on each side.
Okay.
And that, like I said, that chiller, it was cycling. We had it down, temperatures all down. The water was down below 60 today, so we were running good.
Good.
But with this heat, it's hard to do anything right now.
Understood.
We do have a maintenance staff up there.
Okay.
Sent him up to check and go over.
Is anybody having to watch it overnight like we were talking about last night about resetting if necessary?
I don't believe we need to this evening as of now.
As of now, we want to get it up. Like I said, there's actually doing startup right now on it.
Okay.
So once we get started up, and then it'll be monitored for a while to make sure it's running, make sure temperatures go down, and then, if it's all going good, it'll trip with it pretty quick if it's going to trip.
Good.
And
Okay.
if needed, we do have someone that will stay there.
All right. So at this point, what are we thinking about damages? Do I expect to see something on the agenda for next month?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Do you have a rough estimate?
No.
I can't say, we haven't got to the controllers yet, Mr. Keel. I mean, those controllers, they're trying to get those hunted down as of this morning yet. We were rushing to get the actual fan motors. That was our primary thing right now, to get these fans up and going, especially with the heat, not knowing how long it was going to stay with us. We wanted to get that going. So the controllers were being hunted down. I can't give you an honest answer with that.
That's,
Yeah.
As soon as we can we'll let the commissioners know, and they can pass it along.
thank you.
I also want to say, after our workshop that we had about the building maintenance, about the condition of the buildings, this was not something that was discovered, prior to our workshop. This happened where we found out that we had 1 fan that wasn't working and 1 that was completely missing after the workshop. And once we found out that we were missing a fan up there, we did send an email out to all council and commission. So everybody was told, and at that point, Angie did order the 2 fans that we needed. We were able to get them up, 1 of them up and working, 1 was completely gone. We knew that it was going to be putting a strain on the system, but we did order them. The order did come in for the fans late Friday. So when we had the 6 fans that were out, we only actually had to order 4 of them today because we had the 2 that had came in on Friday. We were planning on scheduling it today to have those 2 replaced, and that's yesterday. It just happened that it all kind of like fell apart on us.
Okay, Mr. Yagowski.
What's the replacement for the fans? How much was it?
The fans cost. I don't have the receipt. I don't
A
have the
rough
receipt. I
number?
just,
Yeah,
I don't know. But you know what? I can, as soon as I got numbers for each fan,
I was asking for
I promise I'll
right.
send something out to all council and commission.
Is it a $500, $1,000, $1,500, and not even
I
close?
couldn't, you know what I did? We asked,
Mr. Yagowski, I wasn't involved in that part, so
Yeah,
I
we
really
did
can't
it.
answer that.
Mark, to give you a little bit of sense of scale, these are cast body, short profile fans. These aren't your typical sheet metal Baldor fans, so they're getting pretty expensive.
I don't. So my point of my conversation is that if the temperatures we're doing, I think that this sounds like we have 8 fans that we need to at least order something to have a spare would make sense on this. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yes. I would think one on the 4 primaries. So you've got those 4 2.25 horse. Simple to have one of those and maybe 2 of each of the 1.5 horse.
That's what I was going with. If we, because this seems to be like something we're going to need anyway. So,
And I just want to point out in the building maintenance, I don't want to use the word committee.
working group.
Lunch,
ad hoc.
I was going to say luncheon that we
Ad
have.
hoc.
We don't have ad hoc.
Who approved the meal?
The missing fan and the one that wasn't working was discovered and was never brought to anyone's attention. So I just wanted to point that out. This isn't something that,
Oh, well, we were able to
Correct.
track it and find out that they had done that work 1.5 years ago.
right. So it's been taken out for quite some time
Right,
and
correct.
without telling the
Correct.
directors.
Correct.
That there was an issue,
We found it missing after the workshop, and once we were going to start converting from heat to cooling, and then we sent someone up to the roof, and that's when we noticed that it was missing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But I did send out an email immediately and let everyone know.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
Yeah. Did you have something?
What?
One other question. Who were the other 2 firms that you reached out to on Sunday?
Am I allowed to say names?
Yeah.
I would.
I can't see a reason why not.
No. They didn't answer.
Putting company names out there and we're going to say that they didn't, if you want.
They didn't get back on a Sunday. There's nothing wrong with that.
I can give you a list in an email. I don't.
Yeah,
know how to
that'd
put it
be
on publicly.
probably preferred.
Okay.
Thank you.
Send it by email?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I discuss the courthouse entrance
No,
a
That's,
little bit, or
well, let me, you can fill in the gaps. How's that?
Okay.
All right. So during this time, we took a walk around the rest of the building just to verify a few things. And one thing that was brought to my attention is when we reviewed the entrance on the west side of the courthouse, that main entrance that brings in through courthouse security, there is some significant water damage for a place that is only 4 years old, in my opinion. You're looking at it; it's all in a soffit that's above that main vestibule coming in, and it seems to be, after some pictures that was shown, that has to do with a stormwater system coming off of the roof or coming off of the roof for the second floor, down to the main storm sewer going back out to the city. There is something not right in that construction and something we need to review.
same thing, right, Adam? Looked at it today. I believe it was the same thing you said.
Yeah.
Reach out to Ton and Blank and have them come out.
What I just said to
Yeah.
the commissioners, yeah.
So that's what I would do.
that
Is
was
it-
Friday with all the rain.
Right. I mean, that's the case, right? It's going to be some of these high rain, rainfall rate that's just going to overrun
Yeah.
what these sewer systems are designed for or constructed for.
Yes.
So we'll just have to see where that goes from. Mr. Keel.
Since we talked about HVAC, air conditioning, some of the other buildings besides Michigan City also are kind of warm. Like, it's kind of warm in here right now. What's the status of air conditioning in the other facilities?
It can't keep up.
They can't keep up.
I mean,
Yes, we know, but this is one that we discussed last year.
Yeah, this isn't just a new thing. This has been ongoing, and the units can't keep up, and they've been troubleshooting. There's not, at this point, I mean, I can't do anything about it.
Yep, but we did recommend those
that's-
humidifiers. They were never bought for it, so.
Dehumidifier?
Dehumidifiers, thank you. Not humidifiers.
That's going to be coming to council too.
Okay. All right.
Be continued.
Yep.
Continue.
Watch out behind you.
You know, I'd also like to say, I mean, we obviously know that there's been a cooling problem with this building, the complex. We've had workshops about it. We've never came up with a solution. I know that there was a solution that we could go ahead and buy some little humidifiers and put them on every floor. Dehumidifiers.
They were not a little.
And then the other thing that we could, you know, I had suggested that we get a system to put onto the units that we currently have.
A
Due to
built-in
this,
dehumidifier.
pardon?
A built-in dehumidifier.
Correct.
Yeah.
Onto each unit that we have on every floor. And I know that it was kind of said, let's hold off on that because we don't know where we're going to be with all the budget hearings, with the cuts that the state's going to make and everything else. So that's been an issue. The commissioners are well aware of it. I know that the council's well aware of it because we've had the joint groups. You know, we've had the joint meetings on that. Another problem that we have is the LaPorte courthouse. And, you know, we've had some issues with those heaters and air conditioning in the summertime. We have it bleeding on the walls. It's been no hidden secret. We've had pictures up, you know, at different workshops, and we've showed that. Again, it goes right back down to trying to figure out how we're going to pay for it, trying to figure out how we can get a bond. And unfortunately, right now, we don't have the credit rating. We can get a bond, but we don't have that AAA credit rating anymore, so we're not going to get a bond at a good price. So if you guys would like to have a joint meeting and we can go and talk about the air conditioning and the heating systems and then what we need to do for that. I think it's unfair to ask the director of maintenance those questions when it's something that we've been discussing for at least 2 years that I know of, and we're all well aware of that because she's not going to be able to come up with a resolution with her budget right now.
Understood.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Any other department heads?
Come on, let's go right now.
With that, department head reports are now closed. Liaison reports. Mr. Press.
Yes, sir. A couple items here. So, Plan Commission, we have our first solar hearing tomorrow night. So that's on our agenda for that. Attended the small animal shelter ribbon cutting, nice little event. Maintenance, we had a demonstration of our current software. Looks like it'll fill in a whole lot of the things that we're looking for out of the software programs. Does some scheduling stuff, reminders, just needs to get a whole lot of data entered into it to make it work for us how we need it to. And finally, just wanted to say thanks for everybody getting stuff ready out at the fairgrounds. A whole lot of stuff going on out there. So looks great.
Very good. Mr. Mollenauer.
I only have one thing, and I just learned this afternoon. It saddens me to report that LaPorte County Sheriff's Office lost a retired officer, Captain Larry Trueblood. I think most of you probably knew Larry. He was, I haven't talked, I think probably about 25 years he was on the department, and he's probably been retired now for maybe 20. He came on as, he was a probation officer with LaPorte County Probation Department, and Jan Rose was the sheriff at the time and hired him to come on to our department, the Sheriff's Department, and begin a juvenile detective bureau. So he was the first one to do that, and it's worked well since, of course. And he's just a dedicated person. I don't know, he's a Methodist minister, was, and some of you probably know from that. And haven't heard any plans or anything, any plans on his funeral or what, but just want to mention that our prayers go out to him, his wife Sandy. I think they moved to Terre Haute here a couple of years ago, so they're not right in the area, but I'm sure I'll be hearing some more and try and pass it on to the rest of you if, when I find something out, or Sheriff Heeg will, one of the two. So, but our prayers go to Sandy and his family. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Keel.
I've begun meeting with my liaison assignments about budgets that are coming up. In particular, I met with the surveyor, the recorder, and the sheriff. Also did a tour of the jail today with Sheriff Heeg. And the rest are to follow here in the next couple weeks. Had a productive meeting with the auditor's office last Friday. And earlier this month, I traveled to Seattle for the annual conference of the National Association of Regional Councils. I was elected president, and I'm now the third one from Northwest Indiana. So Dave Schaefer from Lake County previously served as president, and Jeff Benson from Porter County previously served as president. So nice regional representation in this national organization.
Fantastic.
And that concludes my report.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Yagelski.
Yes, just basically call it the Maintenance Ad Hoc Committee, has been met, and a lot of it's been reported already, but I was asked by Connie Grammosa, because of some of the skill set I had with the elevators. So there's an elevator that people that we have not been able to get fixed because of there's an issue about whether or not it's covered under our service plan. So we have got a company come in, already came in already, and I know some of the employees would like to have this elevator back in service. So we already got a quote. We'll get it sent out and get it load tested, which is, it will tell us basically how many years left we have a life of that. The bearings are replaceable, and that's going to be our contentious with the attorneys on to try to get it to go that way. We're going to get it fixed one way or the other, but then we're going to pursue to get it paid for by the service warranty.
Good. Mr. Novak.
Our regular things like the redevelopment commission is going good. We got a lot of things going on at KIP. 911's on the agenda tonight. Spoke with them. The building meeting, maintenance meeting that Mr. Yagelski talked about, talked with Purdue Extension. They're gearing up for the fair. FMEC, been out to the fairgrounds almost every day. There's a lot going on out there. And that's coming up on, I'm going to steal Brett's thunder, July 5th through the 12th. And then Red Wine and Brew is this weekend. There's one other thing I just want to mention, and this is going to really irritate Steve, but the Planning Commission and the solar ordinance. I just want to say that the solar ordinance that we currently have is just a small tweak away from making this a solar-ready community. And I'm not here saying we need solar or we don't need solar, but the Planning Commission has already approved one solar company to come in. That's what I'm referring to. And if we don't tweak that ordinance, we're going to lose $8 to $10 million over the next 10 years in revenue if that company comes in, if they go through with it. So I don't care if they leave a moratorium in place or what they do, but at this time with the crunch that we have to be able to throw away $8 to $10 million, that I think they need to look long and hard at that. So that's all I got to say.
All right. Mr. Kessler.
Thank you. Been meeting with animal control. We've had a few things going on out there. We do have the clinic back open. As Mr. Pressel said, they had the ribbon cutting for the new dog park, and that seems to be a big hit. I met with a couple of my liaison assignments on budget issues and requests. And other than that, I've been at the fair a little bit. July 5th through the 12th.
If we didn't hear the first time. All right. I guess I'll cap it off with a couple of quick meetings that I had earlier this month. One was with the I actually got a session with all of the judges during their monthly judges meeting. This was to review the opportunity to increase collections on overdue or payment in default for electronic devices and monitoring. One thing that seemed to be unclear prior to maybe this latest regime of judges and actually getting together and sharing ideas and situations monthly was the fact that how much some participants in adult probation, or excuse me, adult community corrections were in the rears, and how they can effectively collect on some of those payment terms that were part of their agreement with community corrections. Now, this isn't a 100% collections sort of method, but it can be something that can be put into a bond deferment if there isn't one that's already filed by the attorney. And I'm going to expect Mr. Beege to correct me if I use some inappropriate terms there. But those bond deferments, if they're not directly if they're not directed to pay for the attorney for the client, then the judge can make a ruling to where some of that payment, that bond payment, goes to the uncollected or deferred payments for previous stints or enrollments at community corrections. So there's some things there. They're also doing some things systemically, or considering it for their regular assessment form for a new case, to actually have that value reported, so it's right there in front of their face when it comes to being able to make a judgment. Again, this isn't 100%, but it's something to where it can increase some of those collections. And then lastly, to where community corrections and their board is looking at collections agents to be able to go out and actually, for somebody that's successfully completed their program, going out and actually send a collections agent after some of these costs. Nothing's guaranteed, but right now they're all actively looking at it to improve that overall collection rate, so that we're not having to make additional appropriations like we did last month or almost 2 months back, to the tune of, I want to say $260,000.
$250,000 basically.
Yes. The other meeting was a follow-up session. This was the second session with the Juvenile Services Center when it comes to other opportunities for enrollment not passing on maybe cases from other counties. At this time, they're not staffed or necessarily equipped to be able to look at some of these probably more complicated, more sensitive cases that would be coming in from other counties from the DCS. But what that does is make better use of, I don't want to call it a revenue center, but it's the only way to state it, to bridge the gap between how they're funded from the county and what their incoming revenue is, which is, call it at a loss right now, but it provides a service. So again, things to look at when it comes to some of our different centers that can bring in revenue and also provide other services. So I'll say I went 1 for 1. With that concludes my report. Moving on to correspondence.
I have no correspondence other than what you've already received.
All right, thank you. And since there are no ordinances or resolutions,
It really should be new business. It should really be old business and then new business. So we
I will correct that here. So, no old business. Moving on to new business, which includes appropriations, transfers, and requests. We'll start with Superior Court number 4 and Magistrate Link requesting $8,000 for psychological services.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
John Link, Magistrate, Superior Court number 4. We are requesting $8,000 as additional appropriation for psychological services. Our budget is $3,000 a year, and we've always at least come to the council at least twice a year for additional appropriations. You have to understand with Superior Court 4, it's actually 2 courts. So we have double the psychological evaluations. We have transferred what we could of $1,000 to the account. Right now we have a balance of $675, and we owe We have outstanding bills of $3,600 from just May alone. The other thing I wanted to bring to the council's attention is the costs for the evaluations have gone up. Two of our providers have gone up substantially, so they're approximately $1,000 each. Under the statute, we're required to appoint 2 or 3 psychologists or psychiatrists. We typically appoint 2. And we've had an inordinate amount of cases where defendants have issues about their competency to stand trial. Recently, this sometimes happens in waves. In this particular point, it's currently right now. So, and we did get some bills from 2024 that we didn't receive until 2025. And I'm not sure what happened there. I think the evaluations came later, but they were appointed in 2024. So we're asking for $8,000 to add to our that account.
With your, call it, current caseload, and it's, as I assess it, it's a little over 4,000 surplus that you're asking for right now. Is that going to last you 2 months? Is that going to last you 6 months, or is it unknown? Because you said you had to come back up to twice a year.
It's probably, I know we have a couple more. I wasn't able to get the exact number, but I know of at least 2 of my own personal cases that they're waiting for me to appoint. So we may be back here quickly. It's always been, we've usually come and asked for, with the understanding that we would be back at least twice. So I increased it from what we usually ask for because of what we have currently pending and the increase in the cost of the evaluation. So we're looking at roughly $2,000 per case.
Okay.
And
Mr. Yagowski.
Mr. Lake, since this kind of gets us messed up a little bit, you can encumber, because you have a bill from 2024, you can encumber that and get it paid so it doesn't mess us all up and mess you up all up, because that's so if you have bills you can get it. No, we can't encumber what? Huh? Not now, sir. I know that. Not now. Okay? So like next year, if you get it, just please encumber it, and that way we don't get thrown back and forth on it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Motion to approve out of Riverboat.
Second. Motion to approve out of Riverboat by Mr.
Doug's,
Nope.
Doug's giving you a finger.
Not that one. This one.
Said it nice.
Judge, are these public defender cases?
I believe they all are.
Good question.
All right, I haven't looked at this for years, but we used to have the public defender fund, and it can only be used for certain things. And I think this could, and it used to build up because there's so many restrictions on it. But I would ask the auditor to take a look at that, make that a possibility in the motion, because
absolutely,
the council had me check this out a long time ago. And there's so few uses that the fund will accumulate. If I'm working from memory, I think this qualifies from that fund, and there used to be a bunch of money in that fund. So I would recommend a dual motion.
I'll add that to my motion, but it wasn't advertised out of
You're saying
public
for the future,
defender.
right?
Correct.
For the future.
So
I'm not sure we had to advertise for it.
not.
Well, something we could check out for the future, because
It sounds like you're going to be back most likely anyways, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Mr. Rosenbaum, I didn't catch what you were saying.
That might be a permission to spend, but I'm not aware without looking into this because this is the first time.
So my motion is if we can't take it out of the public defender fund, then we take it out of Riverboat.
Yep.
So
Okay. So I have amended motion. Mr. Keel?
I think there's a chance it'll need to be appropriated. So if it needs to be appropriated out of the public defender fund, it'll have to come back.
Yep.
So.
So it's pending the auditor's review?
Yep.
Yeah, and the attorneys, whether or not it needs to be appropriated.
Right.
Okay.
But if it needs to
it's
be
public
appropriate, it needs to come back. Just do it on a riverboat so there's not a delay. Because otherwise that delays them another month. And you're going to have other bills before us in the future. So it's not like there won't be another opportunity to use it. No point in holding up them getting paid.
So I hear a second with a friendly amendment.
Yeah.
Mr. Novak?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. So you guys are good.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
One other item, when you go to bring this before us in your budget hearings, you might consider increasing this amount.
Well,
just so that you don't have to come back as often.
We have done that every year since I've been here, and we were told that the council preferred not to increase our budget, but for us to appear as we needed due to the fluctuation of the amounts that we need. So either way you guys want to do it. But
We're going to do that again this year, so.
Well,
considering
that
the
might
costs
be
have gone up, we're making it earlier and earlier in the year that you're going to have to reappear. We should probably adjust it for the.
And it would be
fact that
great
costs
if we
have
could
gone
pay it
up.
out of that fund, then it's.
Yeah.
That's
And budget that too, so that way you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and if that's allowable, that's fine. We'll pay it out of the fund. I think there should be, I'm routinely, if there's a bond or any money there, I am ordering, the maximum we can order is $100 on a misdemeanor case and $200 on a public or a felony public defender case, and I am routinely ordering that now. I've been doing that since they changed the statute. I'm not sure. I think that was a year ago in July. So,
Right.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, so I've motion to take from Riverboat by Mr. Novak, second by Mr. Keel.
Well, but if they can do the public defender thing, they're going to do that.
Unless it requires appropriation and then it delays
If
it.
it requires an appropriate, so that's a caveat there. Right. I agree with you. Right. We're still going to look at it.
Yes.
We're good.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Catch that? Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Down to LaPorte County Emergency Management request to purchase a vehicle not to exceed $65,000. Mr. Saby.
Sir.
Let's see.
So, I went ahead and had the quotes redone again, just since it's been a month, and they're all exactly the same. So basically, they just copied the ones that they gave us last month and resent them. So everything's the same. I did talk to Bob Parks out at the Sheriff's Garage. He's willing to help, but he said probably won't be till like the middle of September. They've got 2 fleets of squad cars coming in that they have to switch over, and he said they're going to be pretty busy with that. So I asked him about maybe kind of working it in with the company that comes in, because they don't do the lights and sirens anymore themselves. They have a company comes in and then they just kind of knock them out all at one time. So he said that it's possible they might be able to work something out, but he wasn't sure on that. So that's where I'm at on that.
Okay. So, Mr. Novak, you were approached Enterprise on our behalf.
Yeah.
And it looks like that it doesn't save us anything.
No, the monthly payment, it's for 5 years. It's kind of a specialty vehicle, but I mean, it's 1,064, so it'd come out to 63,855 over 5 years. So it's basically just financing it, and then they would either pay us $20,000 at the end of the time, or we can just keep the vehicle. So
And that's without lights and sirens on it.
that's without. Correct.
That's without doing any.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just the vehicle. So I'd have to say that's not an option at this time.
I agree. So, go back to the application. So it's obviously the load that you pull, that's frequently pulled, is well over the rating of the truck that you currently have.
Correct.
How frequently is it used under these conditions?
Well, pretty much all summer, and then whenever there's an emergency, we just don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's
When you say all
depending on what's
summer,
happening at the time. So, I mean, we have generators, we've got, our Kubota, we've taken that out a few times for, we had lost kids, and we took it out to a couple fires when they had the big fire out there in Pleasant Township. We had it out there for that. So, I mean, first time we run it for the boat race. So there's, like the Red Wine and Brew, we've got 4 trailers we're pulling out there. So, I mean, it gets used. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. And I don't believe we have anything else in the fleet that would pull something like this besides the 2 trucks in maintenance.
Right, and then Rob,
Those are 100% use.
Rob reported last time that the truck he's presently got can't handle that trailer, so
Right.
there's no use tearing that truck up. And I'll make a motion to approve.
Out of lit.
Out of lit.
Motion to approve out of lit from Mr. Mullenhour. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Kessler. Any further discussion?
just making sure we covered all of our bases here. Did you check into whether a used vehicle was an option for this?
I did not check into a used vehicle because I don't know where to look for. I mean, the thing is trying to get everything on here, that was heavy duty and all that stuff. I was, I don't know. I mean, I can if that's what you want me to do, but I did not check into a new one. Or, I mean, a used, I'm sorry.
And your existing vehicle would be then given to 911?
Yeah, that's up to you guys or commissioners or whoever.
Commissioners, they own the vehicles.
Yeah. So whatever they...
Do the commissioners like that idea?
No. The vehicle that he currently has would be repurposed to Matt at the 911 because he came to us before and we kind of put him on hold for this.
So currently Matt's vehicle is out, so I had to give him another vehicle today. So we are waiting in hopes that you get this approved. His old vehicle would go to Matt because Matt is another individual that has to log around a lot of equipment when he's checking the towers. And so that truck will not go to waste. That will definitely go to 911.
Okay. It makes me feel better if it has another use to it then.
Yeah, we already discussed that.
Perfect. Thank you. Motion on the floor.
In a second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
All right.
So where do I mean, I don't know what to do from here now. Just go tell them that it's...
Order it.
Order it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'd highly recommend the 59,159 option would be my preference.
That's the cheapest, right?
It's the cheapest of the three that you have, but they're all QPA vehicles, so.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Just make sure it does what you're going to do. Don't, yeah.
Right. I mean, some of the lights I'm going to have to replace, the emergency lights because we can't take them out, but
You got $65,000.
that's what I need to know. Thank you.
Adam was saying, but you don't have to spend it all.
Yes, thank you. Down to LaPorte County Council requesting additional appropriation for professional services for Baker Tilly contract.
Motion to approve out of Riverboat.
Motion to approve, Mr. Novak, second by Mr. Mullenhour.
Just wondering why not general?
We're trying to preserve general
Preserve general?
funds as much as possible. They were down to 118,000 at one time. We're trying to get it back up to the millions.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Thank you. LaPorte County Board of Commissioners requesting additional appropriation of $50,000 for professional services for Baker Tilly contract. Commissioner Grammarosa.
It's for internal controls.
So how many different offices is this directed
It's
towards?
going to be, we're going to do this across the board for all the departments. Any department that takes money in has got to do some training. And so between us and the auditor's office,
Do you want me to come up there, or is it okay to stay here?
I don't mind.
Okay,
Go ahead.
very quickly. In the past couple of financial statements, we have been written up for lack of internal controls. SBOA came to the commissioners and said, listen, you've got to do something. We've got to start getting written documentation. You have to start following something. It took a while, and then some things started to happen last year, but right now there's still not much written. We do have some things that are old that we're finding and trying to bring forward. There are 7 different departments right now that I can tell off the top of my head that that collect money, and they've already been part of the preliminary questionnaire that we received from them that we'll be submitting back to them tomorrow. So this is all about trying to meet the standards that the State Board of Accounts is looking for, and because the commissioners are the ones, it's not my office, although it's through my office, they're the ones that are in charge of everything. Overall, they were approached to have this done, and they were asked to have it done by 12/31/24, but that was an impossibility, and so the State Board of Accounts agreed to wait until 25, and now they're anxious for this to get moving.
and so we've done like small markers where we've had the departments come in. Now we found out that they have to do the training once a year. It can't be just like we're at the initial part when they're first hired. We have to go back every single year. So between us and the auditor's office, we set up like dates where we're going to do it, but we really do need Baker Tilly to come in and set up a program for us and tell us exactly what it is that we're going to need for that internal controls, so that this way we can start passing that State Board of Accounts.
Long question, you can have it.
Right.
So, does this guarantee, so is Baker Tilly willing to sign up that says you follow our plan, this is going to completely close the gaps with your audit status?
Yes.
We have to follow the plan. We have to create the plan, and we have to follow a plan, and it has to be very evident that we're following the plan. We've made some changes already this year in advance of that, and that they've agreed with, and the State Board of Accounts has agreed with. So this is an ongoing thing, but because we don't have anything written per se, once we get an example of what we need to write, I expect my office and myself to be doing a lot of that to keep this at this level.
Okay.
Because other counties, Boone County in particular, who former president of their council is now our controller, state controller, brought them in to do exactly this when they also had some similar issues.
Okay. Mr. Novak.
You don't have money in your professional services?
So
to
right
handle-
now I've got 24,000, and that would wipe out my my professional services.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, wipe me out now, right? And then I'll be here every month
Whatever.
from now till then.
You're good, Mr. Yagowski?
That's same question.
Another question. Is this like a not to exceed 50,000, or is that a flat contracted
I
amount?
think it's a contractual amount, is it not, Mr. Auditor?
I thought we were doing a not to exceed, and then if we needed additional funds, they would have to tell us in an engagement letter, an extension of the engagement letter, to come and extend it.
Okay.
Then we'd have to come back to you if it goes beyond that.
On the topic of SBOA compliance and stuff, I remember in our last 2 audits, we've been dinged for not having contracts uploaded to Gateway. Have we started to rectify that yet?
Yeah, and it has been started. The problem is we still have to go collect them all, and we're working on that process. And we just don't want to do things, do one, do two. We're really trying to start, we'll put together a full procedure on it. But right now, we are currently focused on a few other items at the moment. And so we will have that as part of our internal controls.
Yeah. And that wasn't so much directed at the auditor's office, because I think a lot of the contracts are retained with the commissioner's office, right?
Well, we sign them, but it is the responsibility of the auditor's office, our secretary.
And we have been receiving them.
Okay.
So we're getting everything in.
So finally, we are working together and we are getting things done.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Yep.
All right.
I'm good. Motion to approve, I know you're gonna love this, $40,000 out of Riverboat, and they can pay the other 10 out of their, split the difference.
So
Is that okay?
Yeah, I can always come back.
You
I know you guys like to see me up here anyways, right?
Yeah. So that's my motion.
So a motion for 40,000 out of Riverboat, leaving $10,000 out of the professional services on the commissioner's budget. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Novak, second by Mr. Mullenhour. Any further discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey,
Thank you. LaPorte County E911 requesting additional appropriation of $150,000 for overtime.
So
Hold on. Let her get to the mic and let her introduce herself.
I can tell that she's looking at me going, jump
Barb
in.
Houston, E911.
Thank you. Mr. Novak.
Hi, Barb.
Hi, Randy.
So, being that their liaison, having talked with them, they agreed to reduce it to $75,000 now so that they can get a better idea of exactly where they're at. They are short, I think, 5 people right now, and they're actively interviewing and testing people. So
We have 3 that we're interviewing this Friday and 2 next Monday, and we have 3 currently in training.
yeah. Wow. So I would make a motion that we take that out of public safety lit in the amount of $75,000.
Motion for $75,000 out of public safety lit from Mr. Novak. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Kessler. Any further discussion?
But you're expecting to have to come back for more than 75,
Yes.
right? So this is,
Yeah, I mean, they're anticipating maybe the 150, but it depends on how these 5 work out. They could get that number down sooner than later.
okay.
They're all gonna stay for the whole year.
Got our fingers crossed.
Historically, do you normally come back to us at some point for overtime?
We do. We budget $150,000 for overtime for the year, and we were out in May, obviously, and we're here in June asking for another 150.
And this has been the case in prior years as well?
Not as much, but yes.
It might be worthwhile doing like a 5-year historical average and looking at what it typically is, and then asking for your budget to be amended to be that 5-year historical average, so that it's
That's
not,
fine.
that it doesn't run out all the time.
Just added $2 million in.
So if you have those numbers in a couple weeks when we have our budget workshops, that'd be fantastic.
No problem.
Good luck on cutting the budget this year. We just added $2 million tonight, so we'll see how.
Well, the fact that we're spending it every year and we have for the last 5 years means it's going to happen again.
Good luck on cutting your budget this year, because you already added $2 million.
All right.
I think there's a motion in a second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
6-1. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
LaPorte County Building Maintenance requesting $21,000 for complex roof.
Good evening. Angie Davis, Interim Director of Facilities. May I?
You may. Is this for the first and the second item? All right.
Thank you.
The first is the complex roof. And actually, if you look at that, it dates back to April of '24 when it was originally talked about. There was a quote around that time also to have it done. Somewhere it fell through the cracks, and I received a current quote. We had the company come back out and look over everything again. But in the pictures, you can see the water testing. And if you walk out in the hall, you can still see where all the tiles are missing from the water coming through the ceiling and the buckets just remain out there because we waste tons of ceiling tiles putting
Just
them
as
in.
a
and
history,
replacing them.
this wasn't just disregarded. It's been fixed in the past, just doesn't, the repair works are not certified, not working, I should say. There's been water leaking through that. I can get Mr. Moldenhauer, he's worked in that department right down the hall.
About as old as this building.
About as old as this building.
It's
So
been
this is,
leaking.
so I don't want to misquote this comment about nobody did anything.
No, this was back in 24, and then actually the original quote that they gave us for this, they never had anything done with that.
So, but I'm saying they have worked on.
In the past.
Yes.
Some of the, because it was leaking in the 911 center.
Correct.
For a while, and that
Correct.
leak was taken care of.
So what's the scope of this quote? I see a bunch of, progress photos in this
Did I not
packet.
email that to you? So you can see in some of the pictures where the rubber roofing is actually bubbled and it's not connected. So where it goes up into the windowsills, it wasn't actually properly attached is what was explained.
So is this a tear off replace? Is this
No, it's a
repair?
fix. It's a repair.
Okay.
We did not get a quote for an entire tear off.
Okay. And this is just over that section of the building, being the fact that we got multiple roof levels here. Okay. That entertain any questions or motion from the council?
Your budget is depleted, I take it, if you're coming to us asking for this?
It's kind of an understatement.
So, I mean, it's
With
legit
13
depleted.
buildings and all of the issues that we have been taking care of, yes, we wouldn't be here asking if we,
I'm assuming that we've already seen invoices from some of the stuff at the Hyler and those repairs that were done recently.
we actually just received a bill for the Hyler. Did you get that, Joey, as well? It either came in yesterday or today. Yeah, we've had multiple coming in to where we know that paying out, we are not going to have it in our budget to pay
I guess
this.
my question is more on the fact that, so with the expense that we've already incurred and depleted out of the budget, the expenses that came from the emergency declaration are just now coming in. We haven't
Correct.
paid, that hasn't been part of the depletion.
Correct.
Okay. Somebody else had a question up here, Mr. Nope. All right.
This company is going to be able to solve this problem now because like Councilman Yagelski just mentioned, I mean, that's been leaking and then they fix it and then it leaks again and, just like, and I think before they had something about a cap over that wasn't correct, so,
That was one of the things, and,
Yeah.
just the same argument as this walkway underneath and that water leaking, of course, as you know, through the sheriff's walkway too. So it's not your fault,
No.
just that this has been repaired, trust me.
Correct.
I'm just letting.
And I mean, a full repair-
Disregard this, like we were told earlier, we disregard things, so.
just, and I'm sure you're going to get tired of coming back like, we want the problem.
You're going to get used to me. I mean, we can get a quote on a full repair to actually fix the problem, like a remove and replace. However,
Are we in a position to support it?
right.
No.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, I know. That's where we're at with. Commissioner Hollyfield was with me when we did the walkthrough, when they came out last.
Well, I guess the question would be, this company, is there a year warranty or anything?
I do not have that information. I can get it for you.
Okay.
Wait, has this work already been performed?
No.
No, okay.
No, it was looked at in 24. They had sent a proposal in 24. Actually, the proposal was signed and they never did anything with the proposal. And it has just, they had a lot of changes in their company as well. And I've just received it in the last 6 weeks.
Okay, I asked because it said we made repairs as needed to these discovered issues, so I presume there was some sort of a cost, but I now realize that it also was April of 2024 for that email.
You'll also see some progress photos from 2022. when we did some inspections. I think
Correct.
all this is just exhibits that were part of the quote, just to show here's what we're
Right,
working
it's all prior,
based
what we're
on the
building up
context that I
to.
have in front of me.
Sorry if this is repetitive, but what is the work, the scope that they're performing in with this 21,000?
I can get that to you guys. I did not bring that with me.
Most of the time with rubber roofs like this is going to go back and either open up the seams and reseal the seams, It's
Sometimes tar it.
sometimes tarring. It all depends on what material's underneath.
Yeah.
This stuff being the black vulcanized rubber, it's going to be more of a tar or
I should say
complete
tar.
seams.
It's synthetic rubber.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
shouldn't say tar. I overspoke.
For future requests, I know you're new, so please don't take offense to this or anything, but like for future requests, feel free to send in advance and feel free to like include the scope and stuff. I mean, I do read through all of it, so
And if ever you want to take a tour,
yeah.
feel
of
free
course.
to reach out. I'll take you to any of the buildings to show you any of the things that we have going on.
We got to see the roof of Michigan City Courthouse yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Any recommendations?
Has there been a motion yet? No.
There's not been a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I don't know.
Which count?
Out of Riverboat.
Motion to approve the full 21,000 on a riverboat from Mr. Mullenhour.
Yeah.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second for Mr. Kessler. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
They.
That was long.
That's a long delay, Mark.
I'm trying to fix the mic over here. It's not working on the end here.
All right.
You got our hopes up there for a minute.
No, oh, it was coming.
Dramatic effect.
All right. Well, thank you. 6-1. Okay, for the second item, requesting $11,450.00 for drain work at JSC.
You got to see some of the pictures of that as well.
Pictures last night and here's reprints this morning. Or this
But these are actually a little bit different than what I had shown you yesterday. I had the video on my phone of it actually coming up, bubbling up through the drain in the kitchen. We had to have a couple companies out on Friday as it was overflowing into the parking lot. I know we reached out to you about that. The system has been, it was passed on to me that it's been this way for a couple
2024.
years. For a couple years. They are getting sand up in their drains in the kitchen. They have a bathroom, and this was, I think, talked about at the workshop as well. The pictures of the bathroom in their kitchen that they can't use. However, Friday when we were there, a lot of this, I do believe, pertains to the grease trap, that it wasn't properly installed. But without a jet and a camera in there to actually see what's going on, we can't move forward with it.
So this amount is to jet clean and inspect and see what the condition is, including the construction, to be able to understand if it's installed properly or not? Will that cover it?
That wasn't in the original.
Okay.
Basically jetting and cameraing to see where we're at, what we need. That's what the original quote was for. And like I said, then Friday when they came out, pumped it, and we discussed that further, I was already on the agenda for this.
Okay.
So it's $11,450 just for the inspection?
That's the jet and to camera. And it would be to not to exceed. We talked about that yesterday.
Who's the quote from?
Arctic.
Arctic? Okay.
Maybe. Do you want it?
Yeah, please.
This is done by quite a few companies, isn't it? This is like.
Well, as we were so part of a discussion last night while we were on the roof or touring through the courthouse, it seems that some of these companies have actually dropped out of the jetting business.
Okay.
So they're having to seek out other ones, from my understanding. Delta 3
Or sub it out. Yeah.
or subbing out. No, so anybody else interested?
We have that new truck now. We should be able to.
Is there a chance that jetting out is going to fix the problem?
Jetting out, at least, so if jetting out is just going to give us the opportunity to see what's
problem.
all there. There's something else that's creating the buildup, right? So it's, is there something that's collapsed? Is there a bend where there shouldn't be a bend that's just
Correct.
a
That's
natural
what they wanna
collection
get
of
the-
debris? Now, these drains, these are meant to be out of dishwashers and everything else,
Correct.
which is going to have
Sinks,
solids.
dishwashers. Yep.
It's not just liquid.
Which you have a grease
Yes.
trap, right? So.
Should have a grease trap, but there's concern that it's not installed properly.
So like, I guess I don't expect you to know the answer, but Adam, I ask you. So I have an oak tree that's in my backyard, so every year I have to get it cleaned out.
Mhm.
Is this something, and cleaning out is cheap compared to tearing the whole backyard and put a new pipe. Is this something that just can be cleaned? I'm just asking.
That's, I guess, what we're going to find out from the camera results. Is that the case?
No, I meant like up till now, have we just had people come in and try to clean the system, clean it with the dog?
Is it routinely cleaned or no?
Our department has snaked it and tried to get through the drain, and actually Arctic came out in February to put the camera through the drain, and they couldn't, and that's how this all came about.
Making more sense now. Okay.
They couldn't get the camera through the drain.
Got it. Thank you. It makes sense now.
All right. What do we want to do, folks?
Their feet wet.
Is your mic working?
Yeah. Make a motion to approve out of wind tax.
I'll second that, Mr. Pressel.
All right, so a motion from Mr. Pressel, second from Mr. Kessler out of wind tax. Any further discussion?
Can you get back?
All right, without any further discussion, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Come on, how are you, Gelski?
Ooh, Mike.
One thing I forgot during
Nope.
department
Can't ask
heads.
for money, but you
I'm not asking for money. I'm
All right.
asking for permission to hire. I do have a position open.
send me an email. I'll get you freed up to at least start the process.
Can't we just give her permission now?
Yes, we could.
Just permission.
So just as a dual, she's been down 4 people, so this will not even come close to filling up all of her positions. The committee has paid attention to how many people she needs. She does need this position. Again, she's down 4 people, so.
This is not one of those departments that we can look at cutting people.
No, I would not agree with that.
Right.
It's more along the lines of
Just want to make sure everybody understands.
Giving her permission for 2 before, and so, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night.
President, I'll make.
For the sake of.
Microphone.
Does she have the permission from before, or I want to make it clear, or?
No.
We're
No,
doing
she has
new?
not.
We're doing new?
Yes.
Thank you. Fine.
So, Mr. President, I'll make a motion to, this one job, it's going to fill one of 4 jobs.
Second.
So motion from Mr. Yagowski for 1, second by Mr. Novak. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, LaPorte County Adult Probation, permission to spend / appropriate $1,869.71 from carry forward.
This expense it's basically appropriating the money as a grant for program materials for drug court participants. So, but we have to have it appropriated in order to pay that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved by Mr. Novak, second by Mr. Kessler. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Second request,
Yes, sir.
which is on here. I believe there were 2 separate
There is.
items.
Oh, yes, there is. There we go.
$1,600.
22, yes. Permission to spend for $22,678.35.
And this request, there's a typo, it says drug court fund. It's actually our Veterans Court participation fees. And we like to have those appropriated so that we can then utilize them within the Veterans Court program. The account number's right, but we wrote drug court, not vet court.
All right. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Novak. Second by
Second.
Mr. Yagowski. Further discussion?
Was there an email with info about this in advance of the meeting?
Is there what?
Was there an email with info about this in advance of the meeting?
I think we just sent the letter to the auditor's office.
We don't have it in our packet, that's why, too.
Yeah.
Just
Typically, it's their funds, and you usually have been passing things along. So as long as their funds
Are we,
available.
are we not using that form that we created a couple years ago? We're not? Okay. Okay, I don't need that. I don't need that.
okay, just as long as the motion reflects like what it's for.
Right.
You good with what you see?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Mr. President, motion to approve $335 for the Port County Auditor.
Second.
Third, fourth.
Motion by Mr. Yagowski, second by Mr. Novak. All in favor?
I got,
Ooh, we have to grill him. Where's the grilling?
I got a quick question.
All right.
If you could come
I will
back.
hold off on the
Just
vote.
kidding, just kidding. I was just gonna see if you'd come back.
I would if you, whatever you need to do to get this meeting done.
Oh.
Sorry, I apologize. I have an urgent matter with a family I need to get to, so I've been waiting impatiently for you to,
Okay, understood.
and I didn't
All right.
want to leave.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, you had one job. Yeah, one job.